Satoru Gojo, perhaps one of the strongest characters in fiction, has a kit so rigged you would think he was cheating.
Like a certain Minecraft speedrun.
There's not a lot that this man doesn't have. Money, fame, so many bitches. I mean, a really strong thing. Everything that has happened to this beautiful bastard in his life has led him to continuously get stronger. And I think that if he wanted to, he could boost his strength even more. And today I'll be using my slightly above average knowledge of the character in the universe to explain just why that is. But first, we need to go into what makes this Sigma male so damn strong. First, his eyes. Gojo is the first person to possess these eyes combined with his technique in his entire family in the past 400 years. This guy's eyes alone make him strong as fuck. They provide a plethora of things. For example, they provide near microscopic vision, the ability to read cursed energy like no other, the ability to manipulate his own cursed energy at a molecular level, and boost the boy's processing power to where he can run multiple techniques at once. This guy literally has a GPU booster in his fucking skull. His eyes reduce the amount of cursed energy he uses to a near 0%, meaning he can spam city-destroying attacks forever. His eyes alone make him so strong that he purposely restricts himself with a blindfold. Imagine going to fight somebody and they are wearing a blindfold. Who the fuck do you think you're fighting, Stevie Wonder? This guy is a menace, to say the least. He covers his eyes for a few reasons. The main one is probably because using too much cursed energy without them for long periods of time will tire him out. However, if you see this man with no eye covering, you better pray you got that double premium life insurance, chief. Because let's just say his opponent's track record so far hasn't been too successful. Another reason he covers his eyes is to probably humble himself in a way. Without them, he just sees density, height, and cursed energy, and doesn't really see people as actual individuals. Which could explain why he's shredding people's arms and legs like a fucking combine harvester. Don't get me started on his go-to move of pulling people's heads off their torsos, but yeah. This man could be described as built different, to say the least. And next,
his technique.
His technique Limitless brings the concept of infinity into reality. This brings out numerous abilities, the first being infinity itself. Probably the best defense you could possibly wish for, it creates an unlimited space between 2 points which cannot be reached. Gojo now uses it as a constant shield around his person, to whether he's aware of it or not, nothing can touch him, unless he deactivates it. Now, there are a few options in which you can get around this, an example of that being a domain expansion, which deactivates any techniques within it. But even with this, Gojo could just use his own domain and counter it, as it's probably one of the strongest that we've seen in the series. By the way, I'm recording this in post. To quickly explain his domain, essentially it overloads you with information and practically paralyzes you. Using it against cursed is okay, because they're not really like people and their brains work different, but if you use it against a normal person or individual, it will literally fry their brains. He used it for, I believe, 0.2 or 0.02 seconds against a group of civilians, and they were hospitalized for half of a year and required intensive therapy. So yeah, let's just say it isn't too favorable. If any other character in the series were to do this, their brain would start to rot. However, Gojo decided that he didn't like this little mechanic very much and decided just to always heal his brain with reverse cursed energy, which, like I said, can heal. Even if anything gets through the shield, he can just heal, because, you know, why not? Which, by the way, means not only is Gojo pretty much immune to all forms of damage, but he's even immune to any brain diseases, which is a flex in and of itself. Motherfucker fights special grades whilst also fighting dementia. This man is different. The next part of his technique is called Blue. This generates the power of attraction. And that doesn't sound that bad, right? We've seen this shit in My Hero, stuff like that. Wrong. If Gojo uses the technique on a person or an object, the target will literally implode. It deals an insane amount of damage, and I don't think anything that's ever come in complete contact with it has survived. An example of this would be against Juzo in the second half of the season. Don't get me started on the bone-quivering pain this would bring in his arms and legs. Jesus fucking Christ. Not only is it nutty OP for defense, but it also gives the bastard insane mobility. He can use it on himself to nearly teleport. Next would be the polar opposite of the previous ability, where this one has the power of repulsion. If he fills Blue with reversed curse energy, it turns into a devastating explosion of pure force. He uses this explosion in the forest against Jogo, and also on Sukuna in the first episode. He uses this ability to throw people around, but if he pins them to a decently thick wall or the ground, it just basically pulverizes them, as it squashes the opponent between the spaces. If he mixes blue and red, it creates purple, and anything touched by it gets pretty much just deleted from the face of the earth. But anyway, we've been sidetracked. Back to my original point. There's a mechanic that's probably mentioned more in the manga, but has been mentioned at times in the first season, called a binding vow, and it's agreed upon that it's the fastest way for a jujutsu sorcerer to get stronger. Essentially, you have to sacrifice something in order to get something else in return. An example of this being Mei Mei, the one with the axe and the crows, sacrificing the life of the crow in exchange for taking the limit of the amount of cursed energy that she can put into a crow off, which deals
So much fucking damage.
It blows a special grade in half in one hit. In the future, anyway. So, you can imagine where I'm going here, right? As Gojo probably doesn't spend more than around like 1% of his cursed energy every day, thanks to his eyes. If Gojo really wanted to, I reckon he could place a binding vow on himself to limit his total amount of cursed energy, even if it was by half, in exchange to make him stronger and faster physically. And if that isn't possible, then Gojo could just do it in order to make his techniques even stronger than they already were.
Not like he fucking needs it.
But you get what I'm saying. Gojo can still improve. So yeah, that's my thoughts on how I think Gojo could get even stronger if he wanted to. If you're interested, I stream on Twitch most days at big_bozo1, so feel free to stop by. Even drop a follow there if you want, or a sub on this YouTube channel. It's free, and if you get bored of me, you can leave anytime. So yeah, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.